So Cook Political just made two big moves in terms of their political ratings for the Electoral College. This is actually a big deal. So they have moved both Ohio and Iowa to the toss-up category from the lean Republican category. Now, they had already made a move with these two states back in mid-June. They'd moved them from likely to lean. Now they're moving them all the way to toss-up. And just to give you some insight as to why, if you look at the most recent polls out of Iowa, there have been three that have come out in the last couple of weeks. Des Moines Register poll, which is extraordinarily highly respected, has the race tied. The New York Times Siena College poll actually has Biden up 3 points in Iowa. Again, a state that President Trump won easily last time around and really shouldn't be in play at all. That Biden does not need to win, and no one was really expecting him to win till recently. And then there was a Monmouth University poll that had a different result that had Trump with a healthier 6-point lead, 50-44. So there is some, there is some distance in those polls. But overall, if you look at it, it justifies the toss-up rating. Similar dynamic in Ohio. A Fox News poll shows Trump slipping behind Biden 5 points back in the state of Ohio. That's according to Fox News, 50-45. September Quinnipiac poll has it basically tied. So again, what they find is essentially that Trump is really underperforming his 2016 numbers among white non-college voters by anywhere from 11 to 16 points. In these two states, Iowa and Ohio in particular, that makes up a large part of the population. So if he's seeing that kind of erosion, that's why Biden's putting it in play.
No, that's right. And what's crazy when you think about this is how much it just demonstrates the shifting coalitions, because it shows you again about the gains that Biden is making amongst white voters. And it's not even amongst white working class voters. It's these white suburbanites. I was looking at the ABC Washington Post poll out of Pennsylvania yesterday. Trump last time around had not a tie, but a slight disadvantage amongst the Philadelphia suburbs. This time around, that's actually shifted 2-to-1 margin. Many of these suburban voters who were actually on the fence, might have even supported Trump last time around, are overwhelmingly now with Biden, or they didn't vote last time around and are now all in with Trump, or all in for Biden. Same thing you can see in Ohio, Cincinnati suburbs, in the suburbs of Columbus. These are the places where you can again see a large swing towards Joe Biden, activated voters who are a little bit more culturally conservative than your average Democratic mainstream voter, but which is against Trump. Add that to some of the gains that Biden has made amongst white working class voters. Again, he's not winning that demographic, but he's winning some more of that demographic than Hillary Clinton. There's not a lot, there's not large minority populations where ironically Trump is actually doing better with nationally in many of these states. So it's the white vote and the white population in particular, which could sink him here if he loses. I don't think he'll actually lose Iowa or Ohio, but it's possible.
It is certainly possible at this point. No, it is interesting that, even among that white working class base that we were told so confidently, they're super racist, and so of course they're going to be with Donald Trump forever. People can think for themselves. So, yes, it's still white working class men are still overwhelmingly the president's strongest demographic base, no doubt about it. But even among that group, you see a significant shift towards Biden. You actually see among white working class women, Biden has made it pretty close. The last poll I saw, it was like 6 points that Biden was down among that demographic. So those minor erosions have put states like Iowa and Ohio in play. And kind of what we learned last time around was that if you could do well with these white populations, then you have an advantage in the industrial Midwest, that they're disproportionately powerful and important to the Electoral College. That really benefited Trump last time around. This time around, it is very much benefiting Biden. So, look, Iowa, Ohio, they both could easily actually go for Biden, and that would be a real shock. There's one state that Cook Political still has in the lean Republican category, and that is Texas, which is kind of interesting. Everything else is either basically like hard Republican, or it's toss-up or lean Dem or likely Dem. But there's only one state remaining that they still have in this lean R category where probably going to go Republican, but you're not really totally sure. Be interesting to see if polls continue to move over the course of, the remaining 30 plus days here, whether even Texas could fall into the toss-up category. That would be pretty wild.
Even if Trump wins Texas, I am hearing from down there that there is the surge in suburban voting in places like Houston and Austin and Dallas could rewrite actually the way that the House looks like right now. Because there are a lot of Republicans who represent something around like R+5 districts where you're kind of banking on these suburban white voters to vote Republican. That's kind of how they were gerrymandered. And they may not vote that way this time around.
That's interesting.
We're keeping an eye on Dan Crenshaw, actually, very much could have a problem.
Well, and also, I think John Cornyn, the senator from Texas who's on the ballot this year, I think he probably hangs on.
He'll be fine, I think.
MJ Hager has come within a few points there. Yeah. So that's another one that, people have been throwing money hand over fist at Amy McGrath in Kentucky. Like, that one is not going to happen. If you were going to have a major kind of upset, come out of nowhere win for a Dem Senate candidate, MJ Hager in Texas might be a person to bet on.
It's Iowa. I think Iowa.
Well, Iowa, I don't even think. Iowa's a toss-up at this point. That's not a long shot. That's like smart money to put that one in. There's a recent poll out that has the Democratic contender up on Joni Ernst there, and they just had a very contentious debate over the Supreme Court pick and other things, and Joni struggled to answer some of the questions there. So
there you go.
All right, tomorrow on Rising, author and senior reporter at the Huffington Post, Zach Carter's going to join us, and the Trump campaign is going to give us their take on Trump's debate performance.
I wonder what they're going to say. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. Don't forget to like and share as well. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a good one, guys.